Artists, creatives, huddle up if you're in the middle of a creative block because a bunch of bug-eyed salamanders are fucking trying to destroy the planet. Listen, we have a message for you. All right, let's see what is blocking you. We're going to see why. This is going to be all about creatives. So if that is not a big part of your life, if creating is not a big part of your life in one way, shape, or form, even if it's just through self-expression, like whatever it is, let's figure out what your blocks are. Let's get you a message. So let's start off with these. See what your current blocks are. So, path, more than a way to get somewhere, it's the way of life. And it's funny how I just said, like, if this is like your main thing, maybe you're a creative person and you do not identify with that being your life path. But it should be. I think it should be. That's interesting. We'll have to see where that goes. But process, find what works for you. Be open to evolution in your processes, vitality, stamina, and engagement. So that engagement is really sticking out to me. You could literally be someone who for, however many years you've been on TikTok or whatever social, like had found great success. But now because, again, a bunch of bug-eyed salamanders own it and this app is kind of going down, that could be really affecting you, like your viewership or your whatever you're creating. But they're saying here, like the process itself is actually what you need to be focusing on and finding what works for you. You can't just have one modality. And any creative person will tell you that you go through seasons of things where one thing really speaks to you and you really love it and you get obsessed with it. And then you look at it one day and you're like, nope, can't do that anymore. Like there's variations. And we see it with like classical, like painting and that sort of art all the time. Like they'll say that artists go through periods like this. That's the process of finding what works for you. Just because it doesn't look the same as it did yesterday doesn't mean that it's wrong, is what I'm getting from that. But exhaustion. So you're forcing it right now. And it makes sense because there's two types, in my opinion, as a creative person who also creates, right? And I do it in the way that I do it. But there's two types of artists. There's artists that are really good at just going with the flow and creating when they want. And just, they're very tuned into their body's natural rhythm of creation. And then there's the rest of us, myself included, that really force the river. And it's because, in my opinion and in my experience, we're the type of creatives that don't let ourselves rest because we're creative everywhere. We're not just creative in art. We're creative and we're successful and we've got drive and but it comes from a place of not understanding that rest is revolutionary, that rest is critically important to the body, but outside of its different, theory and philosophical sort of points, like there is something so sacred and so inspirational about rest that sometimes I find, especially a lot of very successful people, do not understand. And we hit these roadblocks where we've been making. Then we get these energy lulls and we start having these crazy fucking ideas. Like, I don't know what I'm doing and what I make is shit and blah, 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 blah. It says overload, overwhelm, press the reset button and prioritize restoration. Your work will wait for you. What a beautiful card. What a beautiful card. I wish I had found this like 6 months ago when I was really stalled on a project I was working on. If you do not rest, whatever you're creating then becomes something that it's not for you. And in my opinion, the most authentic art is made for the artist. Like other people liking it is great, but I don't genuinely, I think it works sometimes, but I don't think that people who have drive should be creating for anybody other than themselves. Because then you're not being authentic, right? Then you're just mass producing. And then you're just like, I hate the term creator on platforms because it's like that you're kind of just in the mill. Like this process, art is an expression. It's just something that we do. It's just something that humans do. Like it shouldn't be fuel for the capitalist fire. It shouldn't be fuel for the confidence fire. Like it's not fuel for anything other than being alive. So there's a reason why I was called to do a collective specifically for the artist. I think the collective that I'm talking to, like this has been really heavily weighing on your soul, but with what's going on in the world and just everything. Like maybe you haven't been paying attention to the fact that that's also a part of it. And this might be the key that sets you free. So let's get one more for path. Again, more than a way to get somewhere. It's a way of life. Seasons. What was I saying about the period? Sign. Creative expression has its seasons. Winter may seem like a void, but there is no endless summer. Recover, hibernate, prepare. Spring thaws out. Sign. God, that's magic. You're just in a hibernation period right now. And it would be totally normal if you're on Turtle Island or in the Northern Hemisphere for your body to be in a state of rest and you to not have, okay, I'll have to get the rest of those here in a second. I literally have been going on this tangent for like years because as you heal, in my opinion, the more you heal, the less productive you become because you start to get more in touch with your body's ancestral roots and the natural rhythm of your body in reflection to nature. Walk with me. This is going to be a little bit of a rant. But so if you are, and because of like the Industrial Revolution and white patriarchal colonialism and like most people are not in the place where their ancestral lineage is from. So like I'm clearly a white person. And my peoples hail from a place that has long, cold, dark winters, right? North of the equator. So in the winter, I am ancestral and deep in my fucking blood and in my bones. I am not supposed to be working 9-10 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week. When the light starts to fade and the weather starts to get cold, like I am also supposed to hibernate. I am a large mammal. I am supposed to be using less energy, right? It is very natural specifically with the seasons in winter to not be creating. That is for spring and summer. Like the reason it came to my mind is because maybe you have not considered that. Like maybe you have been on a healing journey and you've come up against a creative block. And now you're like, wait, what the fuck? I'm not healed. Why am I not creative? Because you're just in a period of rest, babe. Let yourself rest. If you have the ability to rest, what a gift right now. Like true. I'm not saying that you're an ungrateful person, but like maybe have some perspective on it. Like, if your creative passion is the only thing right now, or is just one of the things right now that you wish could be better, like there's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world right now. What a blessing, what a gift it is to be able to rest, to even have that perspective, right? I'm a very glass half full person. I'm not trying to be toxically positive, but like see it from outside the box. It's clearly affecting everything in your life. What's this creative process? Find what works for you. Be open to evolution in your process, vitality, stamina, and engagement. I think there's 2 here. Creative value and creative inspiration. So with your process, value, most often not financial. What have I been saying? Sign. Everything I'm saying, then a card comes out to confirm it from the universe. So who are you now that it's done? What it has been revealed. So again, you've created some really beautiful things, but now you're thinking of it from a financial perspective. And don't get me wrong, I'm working class. I come from a line of poor working class, blue collar people. Like I'm not sitting here from a place of privilege saying, you just need to rest and take a break. Like I'm working class, guys. I live at or below the poverty level, depending on what metric you look at. But if you are only creating from financial incentive, no wonder you're not inspired. No wonder, right? Have you thought about that? I'm sure you have. But inspiration, the wave, ride it. Don't watch it collapse or pass you by. Is this an answer to a question? I feel like we should get one more. Your inspiration, it's a wave. If you get that rush of inspiration, but you can't finish something, just write it until you can't write it anymore and then pick it up later. I've got fucking art projects all around the house. One of them in particular that I've been kind of hard on myself and been wanting to finish. I don't think I've touched it in 6 months. I know I'm going to touch it again, but like, I don't, you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? Just ride the inspiration. And when you have it, don't bury yourself when you don't. One more for that though. Oh. So, deep dive in search of treasure, but it's okay to lose the map. Go deep. So whatever you've been wanting to create, you probably don't even have it on your radar yet as whatever your next inspiration will be. And I heard dreams very specifically when I was explaining that. So we'll get you a dream card. Where are my dream cards? I'll pause in a minute and I'll find them. But um, it's in your subconscious. You haven't even found it yet. So don't beat yourself up on it. Like, your body is trying to get you to rest so that when the inspiration comes over you, you actually have the energy to walk towards it. What if you had whatever this idea was today, but you're too fucking exhausted to get it done? Don't you think you would hate that more? You think you're in that place now? This card is saying, oh no. Oh, no, 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 no. Your soul has something literally in the locker and they haven't given you the combination to it yet. Because they want you to rest. They want you to take care of your body so that when it comes over you, you can actually get it done. And then how beautiful of an expression will that be when you can create and have clear vision, finish something, and then be proud of it outside of all the other bullshit. I'm so glad this message came to me today because I don't think I've done a message for creatives in a while. And like, this is truly inspirational already. So the exhaustion, the overload, the overwhelm, press the reset button and prioritize restoration. Your work will wait. Joy. Find joy. The process is never wasted. It delivers transformation, but asks, how can I be more joyful in this experience that I have chosen? So you don't even enjoy it anymore. And that's what's making you exhausted. All of this goes together. This should be like a smack in the face to the right collective of being like, yeah, okay, yeah. And you know what's funny? When I was reading that word restoration, I was seeing in my mind, have you guys ever watched those restoration videos of old paintings? I get such a fucking kick out of those. They can be like 3 or 4 hours long. There's something about watching like actual painting restoration, especially when they have to go in and actually like fix the image. It's not just like varnish and all that, like it's damaged and they have to actually fix it and then finish the paint. Like, I find joy in watching other creatives. Maybe that's why that's coming to my mind. Maybe you need to get out and really just experience other artists in a way that you previously before have been holding off. Like if you are you know, acrylic on canvas sort of artist, but you never go to performance art, never go to spoken word, never go to dance. This is saying you need to experience joy. Like you need to witness. And one of the best ways to experience joy is to witness somebody else experiencing joy because it's contagious. So just keep that in mind. It's one of my favorite ways to experience joy. That's why I love people watching. It's one of my favorite things to do. Sit on the subway and people watch, go to the park, people watch, because you can find people experiencing joy and it will literally make you happy. Watch animals, watch birds play. I love watching birds, by the way. Like, talk about such a joyous, insane fucking animal. Like, they are so, they're so funny and hilarious. Okay, I want to get you a dream card and see what you need to be aware of in your dreams. I'm assuming that you've already probably had dreams with this imagery, but these cards will be drawing you to that, maybe to remember that this is inspiration and not just random. So parents, loneliness, and fear. So you've been having some nightmares. It's not great. Sorry. Well, I'm like all bubbly and you're just like in anguish. I'm sorry. But parents. So you could be dreaming of your parents. You could be dreaming that you are a parent. Be dreaming of authority figures. But parents symbolize the foundation and support in our lives. Dreaming of parents reflects your deep connection to family, nurturing care and growth. It reminds you that family energy influences your life, whether through support or unresolved emotional bonds. That could be in your next muse. Maybe that's something, the part of your trauma that you don't even want to bring into your art. Your art is more focused again. Well, we've seen it that right now your mind is in a place where it's about production and value more than value, right? So no judgment, just saying. Like, I'm just reading your cards, right? The dream may call you to reflect on your relationship with family and how it shapes your current path, but then loneliness. So those go together and it's creating fear. Maybe you're feeling like you may never have a family, which is a very common, especially, I could talk about this forever, like social dynamics in the modern age, especially when it comes to the liberation of women. and how that has radically changed the expectations in the family structure, which has always been bullshit, that platonic family structure, whatever the fuck they were talking about with that. But like the loneliness epidemic, and don't even get me started, I'm not going to go into it, but like everybody suffers from misogyny and patriarchy. Everyone. And it's an incredibly lonely experience in so many multifaceted ways because of that. Definitely a point in this current timeline that is so radically different than even 20 years ago. If you listen to women's stories about like how they found a partner, right? For the Right Collective, this would make sense because I think like you want the strong bonds of family. You probably didn't have that so much growing up, but like you feel so lonely in the idea of even trying because it's like there's so many different dynamics working against each other and like so many new things happening. It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around. And there's actually nothing wrong. I feel the need to say this in wanting a family. Like there was a weird period of time for like the last couple of years where like saying that you wanted a partner or saying that you wanted to have kids was like pathetic. I don't believe that. And I don't know how that started culturally. I always thought it was really bizarre that like saying you wanted a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner was seen as like desperate. It's like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, maybe you're really trying to work that out within yourself. Like, it's not like we humans evolved to be on the quote unquote top of the food chain, the top apex predator because of community. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We don't survive on our own. We don't. So it's embedded deeply into the fiber of your being to want companionship and to want family and community, which again, patriarchy and capitalism, it's not built into those structures. It's just not, and that's not your fault. But loneliness represents a deep connection with our inner self and an opportunity for growth. Dreaming of loneliness invites you to understand your true needs and desires. It reflects the emotional isolation, encouraging you to face unresolved feelings and embrace your inner strength, prepare for future growth and connections. So they're trying to purge this out of your system. But because you're such a naturally creative person, you're actually seeing it as a block. You're seeing it as, oh, well, this is just holding me back and I'm stressed and I don't know what to do and I'm not making money and blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, this is your inspiration. We're trying to show you, we're trying to give you the fodder, give you the material for growth and creation. But also they want you to recognize it so you can heal. Because surprise, it's all about trauma. Unfortunately, like it's not your fault that you are traumatized, but it is your responsibility to fix it. I say it all the time. And then fear often reflects unresolved issues or inner shadows in your subconscious. If fear appears in your dream, it's not a sign of something to avoid, but rather an opportunity to liberate yourself. What was I just saying? What was I saying? True. It encourages you to confront the things that scare you and uncover their origins. Behind fear, there is an immense transformation power, and only by facing it can you achieve deeper awareness and freedom. And this is what's coming to my mind, because I was actually seeing in my mind, it's hard to explain, because like I was seeing a picture, but I was feeling and knowing what it is. So I was like seeing flashes of like older women, like white-haired women, like sitting around a table talking in like a really beautiful like sunroom in like this big house with art everywhere. And like, it just seemed very beautiful and communal. But the feeling I was getting from that was the feeling and understanding that like what you think your life should look like could radically be different than the way your soul would actually find comfort in if you would confront the ideas that are holding you back from achieving it. So let me just untangle that a bit. You probably, because of this, and you tell me this if this is wrong, but this is just what I'm feeling. You have this idea in your head for whatever reason that you have not achieved like stability and family and support and love in all the different ways. But I think you're looking at it from a place of all the systems and the structures that I've mentioned throughout this whole reading, because it is a little abnormal for me to like launch full face into like how I feel about things politically, morally, ethically in a reading. Like usually I try to keep that stuff at bay because those are my own personal opinions and they drive the way I see the world. But typically when I'm channeling a message, it's kind of secondary. And for this collective, I've like from the very get-go, we're like art and capitalism sucks. You know what I mean? So it's clearly important to you, but I just think that maybe you may not be aware of the way in which it's still skewing your perception of the way your life is meant to look and actually what would make your soul shine. Maybe the platonic family ideal of getting married and having kids, it might be something that you think you want, but have you deconstructed as to why? And if it actually is something that you want, because what I was seeing, those women sitting around the table, what if you're actually meant to live more in a non-traditional sort of structure? Like, what if you're meant to get a house with your best friend and you guys live together for the rest of your life? Like, have romantic relationships outside of that, maybe have kids, whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think the fear is actually instructive. And I say it all the time, pain is a teacher, but we have to go to class and learn the lesson. We can't just constantly expect the pain to direct us if we don't know where it's directing us to. It can be transformative. And I think it can be scary to be like, okay, maybe what I'm craving is, and what I am lonely for is much more broad. And that's actually affecting my art, my creativity, and my ability to express myself more than just the fact that I can't do it. Because, like, you're clearly exhausted. So, do you know what I mean? I actually want to see if there's any other blocks around you right now outside of creativity and all of that. So, hostile, resisting change, displaying jealousy, antagonizing demeanor, creates hostile environments. I don't really feel like that's you. We'll have to see what comes out with it. But narrow-minded, lack of curiosity, judgmental attitude, having a limited vision, intolerance, and prejudice. So maybe it is in a nice way. But, like, if you are lacking curiosity about the why of things, like, why do I feel this way? Why is this triggering me? Why am I moved towards this and not this? Even if the thing I'm moved towards is not something I would normally, like the just tangent I went in. It's because you're being a little intolerant towards yourself, and then you're projecting that out. So you're judging people who have alternative lifestyles. You're judging people in one way or another. Like, maybe you don't think that you're very judgmental. Maybe you think you're very open. Clearly you're not, though, because it's narrow-minded. It's another block. Or you're surrounded by people who are narrow-minded, and we are who we hang around. So do you want to reflect those lessons? Do you want to reflect that mindset? If you don't, no wonder you haven't found community and family. It's because you were never meant to align with those people, right? All tied up. Too controlling, feeling or being uptight, being someone you're not, keeping up with the Jonases. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, but it must be important. It must be important for the right collective. So you're clearly in an environment that does not allow for creative expression in the way you want it to, because you're focusing primarily on financial things and just powering through when you shouldn't. But again, it's the deeper issue is that you are not in the right environment, period. And I think maybe for a long time, you've been telling yourself, no, it's you, not your environment. It's not, it's your environment. We'll get here in a minute how a source is actually seeing your archetype, like how your energy is shining out and who you're meant to be. Because for me to go into all of everything I've said when it comes to the big foundational structures of like how people are living their lives, you're clearly not meant to be that. Seeing things outside of the box is one of the hardest things to do, especially when we were triggered. But if you are constantly feeling like you don't belong, it's not because there's something wrong with you. The lesson outside the box is because you don't belong in the places that you are. You belong somewhere else. You belong. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not because you're unworthy or bad or unwanted. It's because you don't align. That's the larger lesson to see. Like, if you don't have curiosity, it's because it's not something you're meant to learn. If you are being judgmental, it's because you need to look inward at what you're judging within. Like what triggers us is something to aspire to or something that we are that we need to change. That's the lesson outside the box. At surface level, it's all this other shit. Do you get what I'm saying? Intolerance and prejudice. I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't give a shit. You know the trope of like most people who are very anti gay, like they're very homophobic and they hate trans whatever, it's because they're closeted themselves. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that on a like fundamental level, but I do think there is something to be said like when Grindr crashes during a Republican convention in a state. Do you know what I mean? Like the intolerance and the hate that people project out can sometimes be because they fucking hate themselves, right? They hate people who have freedom and live authentically. So I don't think we can apply that to everybody. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of nuance there. So just fuck off if you try to argue with me in the comments. But I think for the right collective, you'll know what I'm saying. It's keeping you in this place that is so controlling and so uptight because you're being someone you're not. You're gonna have to tell, I'm gonna have to look up. I'm gonna forget. So if someone remembers to tell me what Keeping Up with the Joneses is, Joneses, Joneses, Joneses. I don't know if that is. It must be a show. But one last one, and then we'll get how source is seeing your energy. Sunny days. So growth, flourishing, good health, vitality, inspiration from nature. So you need to get outside more, and I say it all the time. If you can't find inspiration in nature, it's because you don't like your own company. One, because there's no distraction in nature. You shouldn't be on your phone, shouldn't be listening to music. You should be listening to the birds, the wind, the water. Like, I fucking hate when people are listening to music while they're hiking. I literally hate it. I know sometimes it can be a good way to like scare off predators, but like put bells on. I don't want to hear Taylor Swift when I'm fucking in the woods. I just don't want to. Sorry, I'm a hater when it comes to shit like that, but it's like I didn't go to the woods to hear that. Put bells on. Have the right protection things. Like your mace. I'm a big fan of owning a firearm. Anyways, sorry. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but phases of success and prosperity. So sunny days are here. They're trying to give you the opportunity to learn, but all of the rest of it is being blocked. Makes sense. Let's see how source is actually reading your energy, because clearly you're in a place that you're not being seen as the person that you are. And again, I think you're internalizing it as something that you're doing wrong and you're just in the wrong environment. So how is source seeing your archetype right now? The castle, this is all about literally staying within the castle walls and not venturing out. It's about finding comfort in the cold, barren walls of the castle and being protected. But then in that way, you're also isolated. Perfect card to confirm everything I've already said. And then the apocalypse. That card's really intense. And I'm going to read it to you here in a minute. But I want to see also how they're seeing your animal energy right now. Whoa! The cheetah and the buffalo. I love that card. That's like one of my favorites in that deck. Okay, one sec. So on top of being stuck in the castle energy, the apocalypse, removing the veil of deception. This is actually like they're trying to show you the veil of deception that you're currently wearing. So it says it indicates a particularly painful time, one that unfolds when two disparate dynamics occur simultaneously, pulling the psyche in seemingly opposite directions. The first is a lifting of the veil. This means the truths have been kept in the dark, are revealed, seen, and unearthed. That's why you can't escape it right now. It would become so glaringly obvious. These are probably intuition. Everything I've said are probably been intuitions you've been feeling for a long time. But I think right now your external environment is triggering to such an extent that you literally cannot, and you're internalizing it as something wrong with you. No, see it outside the box. See the lesson from a bird's eye perspective. You don't align with your environment. It's not something about you. It's literally the change you want to see. Right? Okay. So the second dynamic is one sec. So the second is the regeneration that comes from the wreckage of the revealed truth. So you're burning away. It's becoming so intolerable to you so that you will actually change it. Because how could you continue to live in an environment that is you now can see physically with your eyes, but also feel with your body, doesn't align with you. They're making it intolerable for a reason. The The old narrative breaks and a new story forms. Apocalypse energy is similar to forest fires, devastation for the sake of regeneration. The veil lifts and we see who and what has been hiding. From the nakedness of the truth, a child is born. Have faith in the process. Hold on to your center. That is the only way. So it's all happening for a reason. Literally all happening for a reason. Because you think that you're stuck and you don't have creative like expression, but how source is seeing your energy, the cheetah, solar force, action, achievement, and masculine energy. So, oh my gosh. It's like you don't think you have drive, but it's like you don't have drive to fit into the box that you're trying to fit yourself in because of whatever, you know, the whole message should make sense because of this. So like you don't lack energy. You're just in the wrong place. Their source is literally seeing you as the most energy driven card. It's the epitome of solar forces at work. The sun doesn't shine onto the cheetah. It shines from within the cheetah. And expands outward to brighten the universe. The energy within a cheetah personality is palpable to others, and they naturally attract an audience to bear witness to their remarkable achievements. So whatever you're creating right now, because you're creating it from a place where you're trying to gain financial incentives, the reason you're not is because it's not authentic. You're not attracting in the actual people who are meant to see it, right? You're having an opposite effect. Purpose and passion are the best fuel for the cheetah's forward momentum. So if you're lacking in those areas, reconnect to the why before running. Sign. That's what I said. The why. Why are you doing it? So, impatient and competitive when out of balance. And then the buffalo, grounded yet heavenly. This is how source sees you. The hooves of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise towards the heavens. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment, not internalizing whatever. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look towards the road ahead, trusting your every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. And what was like one of those things I said at the very beginning where it's like, I'm not trying to be toxically positive, but what a gift it is to be able to rest right now. What a gift it is to be able to have perspective when there's so many people, because of a bunch of bug-eyed fucking salamanders, that are trying to destroy the planet. The only one that we have, right? Like what a gift it is to be able to be a creative person and have the outlet to be creative when some people will like don't have the opportunity to even get a moment's rest right now, right? And I think, again, you know that. But because you're wrapped up in all these situations, this was clearly written into your purpose, which I'm going to get here in a minute, according to source, in order to awaken you to the ideas that we've been talking about, because you're clearly supposed to be some sort of conduit through your art for this message so that you can uplift others. Because if you're watching tarot, you're clearly spiritually inclined. That's not just for your benefit. Gifts are to be given away, which is the inherent energy of a gift. You don't have a gift and then keep it for yourself, right? It's a hard lesson to learn sometimes. Let's see. I want to see just very quickly how this is tied to your karma. Release the root. You cannot fully heal what you're afraid to name. Trace the pain to its root and gently pull it from your field. And then let go of what could have been. Grief often hides in the story of what didn't happen. Release the almost and return to now. I want one more for that. Because again, I think you're grieving a life or lifestyle that you were never meant to have. That you've just been told that that was what will make you happy. When in reality, something so much better is actually waiting for you. One of my favorite ways to... Oh my gosh, my necklace just broke. That's a sign in and of itself. Oh, hold on, I'm all tangled up. I don't even remember what I was about to say. So it's clearly not meant to say it, but maybe it'll come to me. Let's just get one more of it going. What could have been? Release toxic attachments. There's so much here for this collective about understanding that what you were made to believe was meant for you was never going to be meant for you. Oh, I was going to say, well, I just remembered it. Sorry. One of my favorite affirmations to say is show me how good it can get. Show me how good it can get, because it's always more than what my, ape brain can contemplate and think of and imagine. Like what source has planned for me and my path will always be so much better. than I can even possibly fathom. Maybe you need to remind yourself of that what is lost was there for a reason. Or you have the other option of getting stuck in what could have been and living perpetually in the past, completely wasting your present and constantly just stalling your future. What is actually meant for you. Like some people, it's really sad, and I'm not saying this from a place of judgment, but truly cannot let go of the things that they didn't get or achieve or whatever. And then in that way, again, they're just living in the past. And then they, 20, 30, 40 years goes by and they're like, oh, I've wasted all this time living in the past. Like, you don't want to be like that. So your Merkaba activation, this is a powerful energy. And I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not going to give you a whole thing, but look into it. If this is the card that they're trying to activate in you, transcendence, ascension, you are rising up. But I do know that what it is the duality of yin and yang, shadow, ego, and higher self, spirituality, and the 3D in order to give you sovereignty, in order for you to understand your true purpose. I know that's part of it, but look up the rest of it for yourself. Okay, so I want to just very quickly get your life path from Source, and then we'll get you what comes next and what you need to be aware of, like advice-wise. Okay, Source, what is this collective's true life path? The boomerang. They're not wanting to come out. They're not. Do you see that? One more. Okay, so your true life path. Obviously, to find masculine energy within with that cheetah card, so you could identify as male, or like you could identify more with masculine energy. It's not a gender thing. It's just an energy thing of the cheetah, like driving force, action, power, solar energy, confidence, in that way. But so this is your life path, right? This is Source looking at your contract and saying, this is what's built into your contract right now to learn, walk through, and achieve. So seeing things from a higher perspective, and also seeing through the facade, of how other people live their lives and how it's bullshit. And I rant about it all the time. If you are activated to a frequency of a higher calling, of a creative life force, you are outside of the mainstream norm, right? You are outside of the 80-85% of people who, no judgment, are totally happy going to work, having kids, dying in front of their TV at 60 years old, right? That's their life. If you're watching this, and you have a higher calling, you see through that facade as being not for you, not less than you, not, degrading or whatever. It's just not for you. It's not for you to increase shareholder value until you die. And you know that. And a lot of people are waking up to that right now. Like there is a mass awakening happening, and it's been happening for quite some time, which we have not seen obviously on TV or in our phones or whatever, but like seeing through it is part of your life path to look around at the monotony, at the structures that are in place that keep us bound to the worker lifestyle, to the ants lifestyle, and see through it, right? So being wise, aware, observant, secrets being lifted and getting insights for those, but knowing what's going on and always wanting to be exploring the unknown. That curiosity card, you're not being curious enough. It's deeply embedded into your soul to be a curious person. Why are you letting other people's intellectual and emotional limitations to curiosity affect you in the way that it's affecting you? Are you people around you telling you, oh, why do you care? What does it matter? Fuck those people. It always matters. You should always care. It is that deep. It is that deep, guys. People who say it's not that deep lack the ability to think deeply about almost anything. And again, that's their choice. That's their life. That's their path. But if it's deep to you and it matters to you, why do you need confirmation from the outside world to tell you that it's deep and that it matters? Watch the whole thing, but I'm going to triple down on the message. Everything we've talked about in this reading deeply fucking matters and is that deep. when you really look at it. We started off in what was blocking you creatively, and we are ending at how capitalism is destroying your soul. It is that deep. It is that deep. Sorry, I get really passionate when people are like, you don't need to know why. I'm like, no, you do. You do. If knowing why holds you back, then maybe that's one thing. But the lack of curiosity, the lack of drive, and the lack of passion for innovation and knowledge and of evolving, the anti-intellectualism is a fucking disease. And I hope we eradicate it. Truly. Anyways, this bear card, you're meant to be a boss. You're meant to be in charge of your own destiny. This says coach, benefits, wealth, but I don't like to read cards about material gain. That's like the antithesis of my practice. But being protective, being strong, this because it's affluent, but it's kind of this 10 of coins lifestyle where it's like, because you stand firm in your ideals and everything we've already talked about, when you make this transition out of being in a place that you don't fit in, you start to be secure and you start to truly believe in yourself, which makes you able to make decisions and be a boss and gain the benefits from those. And unfortunately, because we haven't destroyed capitalism yet, that does also mean financial benefits, but that means being secure. I don't mean like in excess, but this world is ruled by greed, and unfortunately we do still have to pay bills. So you'll be more successful when you come from a place where you're not trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. And steering clear from these structured belief systems of the collective consciousness that is a tradition and a programming that keeps people stifled. Look at this pairing. Boom, bullseye for this whole message. You are always meant to chart your own course away from this. You are always meant to explore and have self-determination and freedom and wisdom, and in that wisdom be a master and an expert. It's part of your life path to know how to do this. Whatever you're creating, the reason you can't create it yet, remember how I said it's like in your dream state, they're trying to show you that you don't even know what you're going to create next. It's because you got to learn this lesson. It's a part of what you're going to create. It's a part of the lesson that you're going to be teaching others. It's a part of the gift you're going to be giving. Is this lesson that you're learning? And then having the drive and the action to move towards it. What's seeing this through the facade? The boomerang, it did come out. So the recovery of an item, money, friendship, relationship, enthusiasm, and energy. People saying you were right in the return of what it's yours. And what is yours is your creative passion and your freedom. What is yours is your self-determination. What is yours is joy. What is yours is community. You get all of that back. The return. Not necessarily, it might be people from your past, it might be people now, but you get the return of all of those things when you finally start seeing through the facade and admitting it to yourself more than anything. I just want one more for this masculine energy. An aha moment, a breakthrough. So it's you. It's your energy. The discovery, the breakthrough, the reveal, the enlightenment, the epiphany, the illumination creates invention. Creates creating. One more. Still being fussy. Oh my goodness. The North Star, your inner guidance system. Once you tune it properly, that is your aha moment. That is your breakthrough for all areas of life, but especially what you create. Your core values. I knew it from the very beginning that this inner knowing, this guiding light, your true path is what was going to bring you clarity, because that's typically how it goes, right? Like, I couldn't be an effective reader and give people lessons on things I have never experienced. Keep that in mind. I know there's lots of different types of readers out there, but the reason my readings are like an hour long or more is because I'm not interested in being a fortune teller, and I'm not interested in telling you that you're going to win the lotto, meet the love of your life, and everything is going to be fucking roses. I'm interested in you being a better person, because through my own life, I've had to learn how to be a better person, which is why I preach what I know. You have to do the same, and that's how you find success. That's how you find success. You don't do it by pretending. Well, you know this. You know this. I'm not going to keep doubling down. I don't want to repeat myself. Just watch the whole thing. Okay, let's just see what you need to know about what comes next. I heard next 6 months. So, hold on. So, next 6 months for this collective. Nice! Oh, we love it. We absolutely fucking love it. I'm a little worried about that 2 of Swords, but we'll just see what comes out with it. So the blocked by obstacles, clearly it's still going to be a little bit in your energy, but you've got temperance over it. So the lack of direction and the powerlessness and the facing opposition, you've got a card of angels and divine healing over that. So moderation, understanding your purpose, understanding harmony, tranquility, having patience, but alchemizing that energy. I see the temperance card as sort of like when your ancestors or source or your guides or God, whoever you believe watches over you and connects to you, so sort of circling around you and giving you that energy that you need when it's upright. It's the ultimate card of balance. They're like the bumper lanes on a bowling alley. Like they just help you get to where you're going. Truly a little bit of a blessing. They're clearly stepping in because you just need that extra push. But it's in order to create this beautiful harmony. This King of Cups with King of Swords, heart, mind. He's ruthless when it comes to path. And he is by far the most emotional. It is a beautiful, beautiful balance of yin and yang, of, you know, your loving, caring, compassionate, empathetic, psychic, creative. He's the most creative king, to your drive, passion, ambition, getting it done, doing what's right, moral compass. I call this my mini justice card. That's you. That's you. That's what temperance is trying to unite, a union of opposites. For all intents and purposes, these are opposite energies because he's all mind. He's all mind. He doesn't come from any sort of emotional place. And that's what makes him a mini justice card, because he does what's right. He does what's fair and regimented, but he's detached. Union of opposites. He only comes from that heart-centered place. He lets that get in the way of intellect because sometimes he knows that the heart has to rule decision making. Do you see what I'm saying? Angels are coming around you to balance this and create. So you did get 4 of Cups upright and 2 of Swords, but this unmotivated, this dissatisfaction, you're going to have to remember that it's going to require both sides of a coin here. I want one more for that. Self-serving disinterest. Self-serving. That's what creates the missed opportunities. A time for reflection, Ace of Cups. And so this missed opportunities, it comes from you holding back and not listening to your intuition, which is what this whole reading has been about. But tuning into yourself, taking care of yourself, learning how to rest, self-love, not putting yourself in a box you don't belong in. That's what frees you from this mental prison that you're in right now. That's what frees you from the psychological trauma and the mental anguish and the dark thoughts and the lost hope, blah, 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 blah. You were never meant to find comfort in a situation that was inherently not aligned with you. You were never meant to make a family and fall in love, sign, and have success in situations with people who do not align with you. It was never going to have legs to stand on. Ever. It's not something that you did that's wrong. It's not something that you did and you fucked it up, or you're a bad person, or you need to change. You just don't align. You just don't align. See the lesson outside the box. Watch the whole thing. I went into a whole thing about this. That's what it's going to require, is you truly just seeing yourself and balancing these energies. And again, this is next 6 months, but this is going to be a lesson you're going to have to call back to for the rest of your life, because trauma is with us forever, but that doesn't mean that we don't have skills to deal with it. Like, just because we heal doesn't mean that we don't get triggered. It just means we know how to walk out of it. What's this frozen with indecision? So this is the first time a feminine energy is coming up on the table. You've got Queen of Wands. I want one more because the frozen with indecision means it's usually a crossroads. So, hold on. I want one more just specifically what that Queen of Wands is. 2. So, oh God. So Queen of Wands, she's a fire sign. And I'm seeing this as connected energy of what you're frozen with indecision over. This is what's holding you back. And I didn't pick up on it at all in your energy, because I feel like this is a romantic relationship. Something connected to your heart space. There's a reason If I had started off this whole thing with you need to break up with your girlfriend or you need to break up with your person, you probably wouldn't have watched. But this is what's standing in your way. This is what you're on a crossroads with, because underneath this energy, and she's very curious. I'm not saying that this person is a bad person anyway. She's come up upright. She's very charismatic. She's very charming. She's very energetic and outgoing and courageous. She's wands, fire. So she walks into a room and she turns heads. Everybody wants to be her or be with her. You know what I mean? So she's also the most magical queen. Her and her counterpart, they're entrepreneurs. Like, they're free thinkers. But she is wild. Like, she's a little wild. She's untamable, and no woman should ever be tamed. Like, let's get that clear right away. But she is by far the most headstrong, and she's a firecracker. Now, underneath that energy, there's 4 of wands in reverse and 3 of wands in reverse. So from that energy, lack of support, restricted, thinking small, like, it's card of divorce, family problems, canceled events. So whatever that energy is, whether it was a partner or a family member, whatever it is, that's the crossroads, is being drawn in, magnetically drawn into that energy and who those people or that person is, or reevaluating your life and releasing. Less is more, releasing materialism, having different priorities. It's kind of a really odd way for them to say, like, remove yourself. I want one more for that 4 of coins. Whoa! Justice, doing what's right. The Fool, holding back, reckless, lack of faith, foolish, and impulsive. That's what that Queen of Wands. Whatever, if it's not one specific person, it's what you're drawn to with lifestyle-wise. Like, there's nothing morally wrong with Queen of Wands. But if you are not drawn to that energy, the only reason you're drawn to that energy is because it's charismatic and sexy and charming and seductive, but it doesn't actually align with your values, your morals, and it makes you feel stuck, stagnant, impulsive, reckless. Like, do what's right. Fairness and justice is over the whole thing. So if you don't do what's right, it will turn in reverse, and you'll have to learn this karmic lesson again and again and again and again. Because justice, that's our purple curtain. That's our karmic. That's our debris. That's our lessons that our soul decided to learn because we didn't in the past life, or new lessons we need to embark on for evolution. That's my opinion on karma and on our soul's journey. It's that it's not about what we want and what feels good. It's about what's right. It's about what's best for evolution of the soul. Consequences having meaning, balance, and fairness. All right, so advice. Well, we just got advice. Let's just see potential outcomes here. Jeez, they're really like flipping on me today. Seeing that you are enough. Walking away. Finding your independence. 9 of coins in reverse. Understanding that you have been working too hard for free and for things that you don't want to work towards, like actually in your soul, and having self-worth. You've been undervaluing yourself. That's what this lesson is meant to teach you. And we went over it in about 1,000 different ways. But that's the outcome here, that you've been devaluating yourself and you haven't been understanding yourself, and they're going to make you learn it one way or another. You decide how easy that lesson is to learn. You think it's painful now? Wait till more time passes. Because once you add the regret of time, lessons get very, very, very excruciating. Just warning you. Ask me how I know. Okay. What angel is watching over you? Archangel of the Resurrection, fire of purification, holiness, truth, and love, increases faith, overcoming addictions. So I burn up blocks to ascension and turn the energy of negative emotions into productive actions you can take, Amber, very soon, and ask for help. And then what numbers for this collective? You're ruminating. 500. And 666, personal responsibility. That's a beautiful angel number. So is it worth the risk? Your angels acknowledge that you are losing your patience with the situation that isn't changing. Why isn't it changing? They are guarding you against rash decisions made on a whim. You don't have to make a choice today. Give yourself time to ponder what you should do next. Reflect on perhaps journaling and feeling dissatisfaction. With the theme of this message, I think you've been stuck in that. I think you've been waiting for too long to make a change. I'm going to be honest. I want one more for that. Is it worth the risk? Well, You've been taking too long to walk away is what the problem is. Or make change in some way, shape, or form. Gather strength. There we go. Focus on your talents. The creativity, how I started this whole thing. Your angels encourage you to gather your strengths. In the next chapter, you will need to focus on what you can do rather than what you cannot do. Reflect now upon a talent you have, no matter how small or inconsequential you may think it is. Talk about your talent out loud to yourself as if you're telling someone else. Do this until it feels natural. So that's the type of energy work. It's like mirror work, but you're doing it with sound, right? The sound of your voice. And words are spells. So positive affirmations, that's why those work, because they're spells. And then personal responsibility. It's time to reflect. This number can have a negative connotation to some, but for your angels, it's actually a powerful reminder to stop focusing on the material world too much. Way too focused on money. And for them to say you're way too focused on money in like 4 different decks, but not show me financial hardship, means that you can afford to stop focusing on money. So have perspective. It's a strong message from your angels to take personal responsibility in your own life and ask yourself in all areas, what do I need to do differently? Sit quietly and reflect on the question today. Reflect on the whole question and get to creating. Good luck.